And hey, Fisty, thanks for stopping by over on the kick side.
確かにそんなことをどこかで聞いたような気もしたが、それってマジだったのか?
This world always has a lot of nice suggestions, but they're mostly out of politeness, right? They're just something you laugh off and reply with, that would be nice. But those ideas generally end as jokes, so it's crazy when they turn real.
マジも大マジ。吉郎おじさんも大絶賛。昨日のおもちゃ屋での部活、ゲーム中の暴れっぷりは実に見事だったからね。
レナもあんな遊び方や盛り上がり方があるなんて知らなかったかなここだけの話ですけど、私の近くにいた子たち、ケイチさんと同じ卓で盛り上がりたかったって悔しがってましたのよ。
Interesting, because remember, when we did this the first time in Watanagashi, we didn't play Pop-Up Pirate. Instead, Keiichi got the game of life, and then he was about to lose. He kept I think he had like 10 children, and he had to constantly pay for their school, and stuff like that. So he was just like falling super behind. And he was playing against 2 kids from his classroom. So like 2 7-year-olds. And the only way he won was like by, what did he do? He bribed them with, I think it was like, hey, during the curry competition that's coming up, I will let you try the curry that Satoko and Rika made, because both of the kids liked, you know, both of the girls here, which is really funny. And then this time, they just played Papa Pirate instead, and I guess Keiichi just won by being, you know, a good player.
ケイチは何でも楽しそうに遊ぶことに関しては天才的なのです。
You know, I wasn't just playing around, I was giving it my all because I had no choice but to win. I guess we made it look like a lot of fun for the audience, though.
確かに、ケイちゃんは普段の部活においても、とにかくよく盛り上がってくれますからね。
What's Shion doing here? The fuck is Shion doing here? Also, are those birds? Instead of cicadas? Instead of the Higurashi outside, we have birds? The fuck is this? What's going on? Anyway, here's Shion again in her school outfit. We saw her once in Chapter 5 wearing this. And it was during a hallucination while she was bleeding out after falling from her balcony, smacking her head on the corner of the balcony below, and then landing on her back on the floor on the first floor after falling like 3 or 4 stories. As she bleeds out, remembering, oh yeah, I promised the guy that I liked that I would take good care of his sister, and I didn't do any of that. But here she is in her uniform. And then here it is for, you know, the console sprite. And then, ugh, this vile creature. Anyway.
監督もケイちゃんがひなみ沢ファイターズに入ってくれたらさぞや盛り上がるだろうって言ってましたし。言ってましたね。ゆうべ会合の席でも入江先生、前原くんのことをベタ褒めでしたよ。
ケイチくんは自分で思ってるよりずっと人を楽しくさせる力があるんだよ。
そうかな。
おじさんだって自分の仲間が可愛いからって推薦したわけじゃないよ。ケイちゃんならこの退任にきっと応えられるって思ったから推薦したわけさ。
Interesting.
僕も同じ席にいましたですが、全然反対意見が出なかったのは驚きだったのです。
前原くんは先生が思っているよりもずっと村中で評判なんですね。沖宮界隈でも有名です。先日のひなみ沢ファイターズと沖宮タイタンズの試合でのあの助っ人ぶりはもはや現地では伝説的ですからね。
Okay, so when the fuck is this? Because, like, I'm trying to remember. In Chapter 2, we had the event on Sunday where, you know, they played at her uncle's store. Then, I believe we had the curry competition after Keiichi said that he was gonna, like, no. we had the curry competition right after, and then I believe after that was when we had the event where we did the baseball scene, and then that's when we got the like what was it? The whole thing for Angel Mort, where we bribed the enemy pitcher to take it easy on us, so that you know, so that they could all just like have a very perverted discussion about eating strawberry shortcake. Anyway.
あれはすごかったですものね。亀田さん目当ての記者の方々も度肝を抜かれてましたよ。
They're talking about that rigged baseball match I set up with Kameda-kun. The public did end up believing that talented pitcher walked me out of fear for my insight. Kameda-kun and I have entered a strange relationship since then, but I'd really rather not talk about it right now.
どうかな、ケイチ君。レナはケイチ君にはその力があると思うな。みーちゃんだけの推薦で足りないならレナも推薦するよ。ケイチ君ならきっと綿流し実行委員の退任を全うできる。
Watanagashi... What? Anyway, Watanagashi is an annual village festival held in June. It's supposed to be the biggest event in the village, and most of the people living here gather for it. Since this is a major event, they always organize a committee to plan out the festival a few months in advance. The festival is only 2 weeks away, and I just moved to this village. But now they want me to join that committee?
大体よ、俺実行委員の仕事なんて知らないから何の役にも立てないぜ。
実行委員なんて堅苦しいのは肩書きだけだよ。ケイちゃんに満場一致でお願いしたい役はね、ズバリ叩き売りオークションの司会なんだよ。
なんだよそれ。バナナでも売らされるのか。
そこは先生から説明します。今年のお祭りでは新しい試みとしてオークション風に寄付品の叩き売りをやろうということになったのです。
That's really fucking funny. Keiichi's gonna be... what's the name of those people? Auctioneer? Is that the term for them? Let's see. Yes. Yes, it's an auctioneer. The person that conducts an auction. He's gonna be yelling, he's gonna be saying shit like, we got a banana, who wants a banana, who wants a banana? Oh, do I see 500 yen, 500 yen? Okay, do I hear 600, 600? Do I hear 600, 650? 650? Okay, do I hear 700? And he's gonna keep going like that, just trying to sell like whatever the fuck they're gonna get him to auction. That's really funny. But knowing this game, it's not gonna be like fruit or food. It's probably gonna be like, I don't know, dude, like Satoko in like a cat outfit or some shit for like a day. Anyway.
そこは複雑な事情があってね。町会で寄付品を集めて、それを商品にしてのみんなで参加できる何かをやりたいんだけど。
I missed this song. We haven't heard it in a while, but it's so good.
過去の役員会でいろいろ大人の事情があって、福引き抽選以外の方法で商品を分配したいってことになったんだよ。
I kind of remember this. Right, I think the previous year they tried to get people to show up to the Watanagashi by raffling out items that were mainly donated by the Sonozuki family. So it was like TVs and washing machines and shit like that. And a lot of people showed up because they wanted to, you know, partake in the lottery. But this time they're going to try to, well, do something else.
早い話が昔ばあさんが癇癪を起こしときながら引っ込みがつかなくなったことがあるわけなんです。
Yeah, they might try that. They've done that before in some of the other chapters, where whenever someone loses, you know, they would have to become like, you know, the winner's like personal slave for the day or whatever. And Keiichi like ends up losing, and he has to wear like a girl's like swimsuit, like the school swimsuit that's a one piece, while wearing like a maid hat with cat ears and some other shit. And he had to walk like the winner home or something while carrying their books. And he had to walk throughout the entire... It was fucking terrible. My god.
自分でトラブっときながらよく後悔してますよね。まあね。 まあそんなわけで福引き以外のイベントで何か楽しく商品を山分けできないかって話になったわけよ。それで出た案が寄付品の叩き売りオークションってわけ。
オークションってなんだか面白そうだね。ひょっとするとものすごく安くいいものが買えるかもしれないし、他の人が高値をつけ合うのを見てるのも楽しいしね。しかも寄付品だから元手はタダ。実行委員会もなかなかお金儲けがお上手ですわね。売り上げは全部冬の鳥海温泉旅行の泡麦茶代になるのです。ずるいのです。
フルデさんは泡の出る麦茶はまだまだいけません。
だいたい話は見えてきたが、でもよ、俺はオークションの司会なんかやったことないぜ。
It's funny that they all just came to the conclusion of like, hey, Keiichi, you'd be perfect for an auction.
でも圭一くんならきっとやり遂げられると思うな。売り上げの1割はお小遣いになるとか言われたらものすごい頑張りそう。
Oh.
まあな、実績に応じて何か得られるってならそりゃ頑張るだろうな。
Only if you can get
逆
something.
に実績が出なかったらとんでもない罰ゲームが待ってるかもしれませんでしたよ。
ちょっと待て佐藤、なんで俺がそんなリスキーな条件を引き受けなければならないんだ。そもそも俺は依頼されてる立場だってことを忘れるなよ。俺はこう見えてもスケジュール多忙で忙しいんだぜ。
I'm a very busy guy.
そういうのはマネージャーを通してくれたまえ。
どうよケイちゃん、もし何かご褒美がないといけないってんなら内容と条件次第では考えてもいいよ。私もケイちゃんを推薦した以上何としても引き受けてもらいたいと思ってるからね。最大限配慮するよ。
ほう、太っ腹じゃねえか。さーて何がいいかね。
罰ゲームを何にするかというのはよくあるけど、ご褒美は何がいいってのは初めてかもしれないね。
There's never really been a reward.
言われてみればそうですわね。私たちってつくづく過酷な状況で戦ってますのね。
Rena is right. The whole purpose of our club activities is to escape the punishments we come up with. Even if we win, we never get a prize or reward for it.
めったにない美味しい話に圭一が困っていますのです。みーちゃんの方で何か提案できないの？何でもいいよって言われたらかえって思いつかないよね。
そうだね。あ、じゃあこんなとこでどう？エンジェルモートのデザートフェスタの入場券とか。
Oh no. Again.
ねえ、ケチくさいこと言わないでどーんと3年分くらいプレゼントしちゃえばいいじゃないですか。
あら、それは豪華ではございませんの。
確かデザートフェスタのチケットってものすごい購買率で闇取引もされてるんだろ。そんなの3年分なんて本当にいいのかよ。
もちろん成功報酬だよ。盛り上げてくれないとダメだからね。
大丈夫だよ。圭一くんならきっと大盛り上がりになる。
それについては私も同感です。というかどんなめちゃくちゃな売り工場が飛び出すかかなり楽しみです。
たとえタコの入ってないたこ焼きであっても行列させてしまいそうですものね。
You could probably get people to line up for takoyaki that doesn't even contain octopus. What a callback to another timeline.
おいおい、さすがにタコなしたこ焼きは無理だろ。
Tacoless takoyaki.
ケイちゃんなら見事売りかねないね。
It's fucking funny. It's like they're basically saying like, oh, you could sell water to fish, you know? It's cute.
小麦粉の味が素朴でヘルシーとか言いそう。
お前ら俺をおだててるのかバカにしてるのか。
It's healthier to eat a ball of dough with a bunch of sauce and like flakes on top than a piece of octopus. I don't know about that.
どうですか前原くん。先生も
方ならきっとうまく盛り上げてくれると思います。
Chia Sensei was also on the committee. She must have backed up Mion's suggestion when she brought up my name at the last meeting.
僕も圭一の口先マジックが見たいのですよ。みぱー。
バナナの叩き売りだってさ、その売り工場の切符の良さに感服して買わせるわけだしね。
Hold on. Not this. Is that really what it fucking says? Hold on. Yes, so. I want to just double check. It is. Yeah, they're saying banana. Yeah, so it was banana. It means auction? What the fuck? Huh. Okay.
前原圭一ワンマンショーでございましたよ。楽しそうですわね。
おいおい、俺はまだ引き受けると言った覚えはないぞ。
大丈夫だよ。圭一くんならできるよ。
レナめ、他人事だと思って気楽に言いやがって。
It's probably slang, but like I'm not 100% sure. Because like banana is definitely not host. Like I'm pretty sure it's not host. It has to. It's more than likely auction.
そんなつもりじゃないのに。
But I'm sure someone in the YouTube comments can correct me later when this goes up. The principal suddenly opened his mouth.
どうかね、前原君。わしも君ならやれると思うぞ。男なら一つ、みんなの期待に応えてみんかね。
Right. If I had to, I'm sure I could do it. Mion has made me do so many different things for the club, and I've learned a lot from that. Besides, this would be the first time I could get a reward without having to worry about punishment. It should be fun too. This is the first time so many people were counting on me like this. To be honest, made me pretty happy. Still, I was worried about getting dragged into something that required a lot of work. I couldn't erase that thought from my mind. But I was in Hinamizawa. The people in this village would never do anything to betray me. They genuinely believed that it would do a lot to liven up the festival if I became the host of their auction. I've only been here for a short period of time, but I know that the people here are honest and kind.
よっしゃ、俺も男だぜ。そこまで言われちゃ引き受けないわけにはいかないな。見てろよ、俺がやるからにはドカンと盛り上げてやるぜ。エンジェルモートのチケットを忘れるなよ。3年どころか10年分くらい進呈したくなるくらいに盛り上げてやるぜ。
よく言ってくれた、ケイちゃん。
Everyone gave me a round of applause. How many times have we had this How many times had this happened in my life? Not once. This is the first time I'd ever been applauded. Oh no, Keiichi.
よく俺みたいな若造を推薦して町会の人が納得してくれたよな。
There were a lot of old people in the village committee. I'm a young guy who only just moved here. I've known for a while that Mion has a lot of influence locally, but I couldn't believe that everyone in the committee would accept it just like that.
まあ基本的には頭の固い年寄り連中ばっかりですけどね。時代も徐々に変わり始めてるってことです。ひなみ沢もダム戦争に打ち勝って、これからは新しい時代を築き、どんどん栄えさせていかなくちゃならない。だから若者歓迎、よそ者飛び入り大歓迎って風にどんどん意識改革をしていかなくちゃならないんだよ。
Interesting.
圭一は若くてよそ者で、しかも受けがいいので、まさにぴったりなのですよ。
受けがいいね。どうして俺の知名度がそんなに高いのか不思議でならねえぜ。
多分みーちゃんの罰ゲームと密接な関係があると思うかな。
え？
やっぱりそれか
じゃあこれで決まりですね。先生の方から今夜 前原くんのご両親に電話でお話ししますので、一応前原くんの方からもご両親にこの度の件を話しておいてください。
I'm sure my parents will have no problem with it. They won't have any objections to raise at least. They might ask me why my name was brought up though. Chia-sensei and the principal went back to the teacher's office after the discussion ended. We were in the middle of a lunch break. We were in the middle of lunch break at the moment. Chia-sensei and the principal had come along together, and Mion scared me by saying that they all had something to talk to me about. My stomach wasn't digesting my lunch particularly well.
前原さん、聞いてましたよ。すごいじゃないですか。
Right, they have little portraits, by the way.
町会から推薦を受けるなんてすごい名誉ですよ。
おお、富田君に岡村君か。
I almost forgot about them for a second.
そんな名誉なら君らに譲ってもいいぞ。
無理ですよ。前原さんじゃなくちゃ務まらないです。
I realized the whole class was talking about me. Let's get back to this. They were saying how fun Watanagashi was going to be and how high their expectations were for it. I might have taken on a huge responsibility. I need to do my best to succeed at it.
そうだそうだ、忘れてた。うちのバッチャがね、いっぱいおはぎを作ったんだよ。学校のみんなにも食べてもらえって持ってこさせられたんだっけ。
Ohagi. Oh no. Mion clapped her hands as she remembered and took a box out of her bag. Oh no. If you recall, at least in chapter 1 in Onikakushi, when we were given the ohagi, which is basically it's a sweet treat. If I recall, it's just it's a sweet treat filled with like, it's either filled with bean paste or it's bean paste stuffed with something. But I'll double check one more time. Ohagi. Yeah, okay, it's backward. Yeah, no, I was correct. So it's a rice ball, and then it's covered in bean paste. So here, I'll put a picture up on screen real quick. They look like this. So this is ohagi. So you can see the rice in the middle, and then they're covered in bean paste. I guess this is red bean paste for this one. But anyway, if you recall, in the original Higurashi, in the first chapter, Onikakushi, we had this scene where we were given the quote-unquote mochi. This is basically like mochi. But instead of candy or instead of like a sweeter thing, it's red bean paste. And Mion told us, hey, as a punishment, there's something special in one of the ohagi. Can you find it? And then we were like, okay. And by this point, Keiichi was so fucking paranoid. He had no idea what to expect from the ohagi that he ended up finding a needle like inserted into one of the ohagi. It got stuck in his mouth, and he like threw it up, and then like threw the other ohagi like against the wall. And it wasn't until like the last chapter that we realized that he was kind of like hallucinating all of that. There really was no needle inside of the ohagi. He was just fucking crazy. And also, hey Random Cat, thanks so much for stopping by over on the Kick side. Anyway, she opened the lid, letting us see a bunch of ohagi neatly packed inside.
あらあら、たくさん入っていますのね。クラス全員に食べていただけそうなくらいありますわよ。
Enough for everyone. I don't know about that.
かわいい、美味しそう。
バッチャはおはぎを作るのが大好きなんですよ。どういうわけか。
宗平が大好きだったのですよ。
ああ、実茶が好きだったらしいね。
I think this is the first time we've heard Mion's grandpa's name. I don't believe we had heard his name before.
山盛り食べたらしいよ。
じゃあみーちゃんのおばあちゃんにとってはおはぎは亡くなったおじいちゃんを思い出す大切なものなんだね。
そうなの？実茶が好きなのって 缶詰だと思ってました。シオンは缶詰がダメなんだよね。
あ、そうなの？どうして？
缶詰臭と言いますか。
She's probably thinking of the old legends of the family where they would sell like canned human meat. So that probably like makes her think of that, and she's like, no thanks. But once again, here's a smug Shion in her uniform. And then smug Shion again. She looks like a fucking gremlin. with the console art. Anyway.
独特の鉄臭さがどうも苦手で。
Yeah, the smell of metal. I bet it's that. In this case, because canned media is a relatively new thing, at least in lore in this game, the Sonozuki family produced canned meat for soldiers out in the front lines. I believe it was either during World War I or World War II. Pretty sure it was 2. And then it's kind of revealed that like the meat that they were, providing was human meat.
人に嫌がるかぼちゃを無理やり食べさせて好き嫌いはいけないとか言ってる人が随分な話でございますのね。
Huh. Okay, so what the fuck's going on with Shion being here? Is this normal? Did Shion remember what happened in Chapter 5 in the past world or in the other timeline and then try to atone for it in this timeline? Because remember, at the end of that chapter, there was a scene specifically where Shion was in this outfit, like wearing this outfit, and she was having lunch with everyone here. And one of the more notable things, or one of the more, one of the things that stood out was her kind of teasing Satoko about not liking squash. And how, like, if she wanted to be, a big, strong girl, she had to eat her squash. And then Satoko was like, fine, I'll do it. And then she ends up eating her squash. But now it seems like it's commonplace. Like, if she's here, then maybe, like, she remembered what happened and maybe she's atoning, or I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out.
実はね。ちょっとおね。人が嫌がることを言うなんて最低ですよ。
なんだかわからんが、ミオンが珍しく握ったシオンの弱みらしいな。面白いから普段の恨みを晴らせ。ほれほれ。
The reason why Shion doesn't like canned food must have been something pretty funny. The two sisters battled for a while. The machine gun knee kicks Mion launched from close quarters weren't bad, but I don't think she expected Shion to land a capture suplex off of it. Guess Shion is the stronger of the two siblings.
お姉に言われるくらいなら自分で言います。
Alright, well here's Shion again. I don't think we've ever seen Shion make this face before. Like, in any of the past instances where she's appeared, she's always had, like, a more serious demeanor throughout the entire, time that we would see her. She was always kind of, I don't know, just super serious. Here, she's kind of goofy, which is interesting. Anyway, here's the console art. Alright.
ですね。葛西っていうたちの悪い親父がいましてね。そいつがですね、純粋無垢だった幼い私にですね、缶詰の中にはたまに人間の肉が混じっているとか、とんでもないことを吹き込みやがったせいなんです。
So she's remembering the stories of the Sonozuki family and how they used to distribute, human meat in the canned food.
都市伝説にたまにそういうのがあるね。
あるある。俺たちのとこでも牛丼の肉は実は犬の肉だとか、ハンバーガーにはミミズの肉が混じってるとか聞いたことあるぜ。
So hey Opti, thanks for stopping by over on the kick side.
そ の聞いてしまったら、もう牛丼もハンバーガーも食べられなくなりますわね。
そうなんですよ、さとこ。私はトラウマを負わされた犠牲者なんです。
God, I get that. There was a time when I was like really young. I was still in like grade school, and what was it? It was like summer break, and I really wanted a glass of milk. It was like early in the morning, so I go to get a glass of milk. Like I go downstairs. I wake up, right? I go downstairs. I try to get breakfast, and I pour myself a glass of milk. As I, you know, I go to my kitchen. I take the gallon of milk out of the fridge. I grab a cup, and then I start to start pouring the milk into the cup. I then just put the milk gallon away, and as I go to like grab my cup, I see something floating at the top of the milk, and it was like a worm, which is weird. It was like the first time I had ever encountered something like that in anything that I drank or anything that I had like eaten before. And it was weird because it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like cheap milk, right? It was just like name brand for like my local grocery store, like not Walmart or anything, but just like a local grocer that's in my state. And that made me like super sick, like just seeing it. And I was like, oh no. So I poured the milk out, and then I literally could not drink milk for like 4 months. Like for the rest of summer, like I was not drinking milk. I was like kind of traumatized, but I was also, I don't know, how old was I? I was like 10, I think. Anyway.
同情はしますけど、かぼちゃフルコースの恨みと相殺するにはまだだいぶ足りませんわね。さとこは根に持ちすぎなのですよ。僕は美味しくてペロリだったのです。
なんだかよ、そんな話をしてるとさ、このミオンのおはぎにも何か妙なものが混じってそうな気がしてくるよな。
Yeah, Keiichi. Maybe there is something mixed into the ohagi.
ほう、確かにこの私が持ってきたおはぎだもんね。中に何の細工もないってのは確かに不用心だよね。
See, with a caterpillar, I mean, if the caterpillar's dead, well, no, it was alive, in your case. That's probably not too bad, because caterpillars, I mean, I find them cute. But, like, a dead, like, worm in my milk, it's like, ugh. That made me, like, super fucking sick for a while. I could probably deal with a caterpillar. I'd be like, okay, well, that's kind of lame. I'll wash... I can wash the lettuce leaf, but... it, like, with milk, I don't know. Anyway, ohaki that Mion brought. When you consider that, it's only natural to suspect that she probably did something to them. Ugh, a cake full of worms? Ugh. Ugh, that sounds fucking gross. What's going on? I felt like I was forgetting something. But I didn't remember anything that I was forgetting. It was like one of those deja vu moments. I'd never been in this situation, but my mind was telling me that I'd been there before.
どうしたのですか、ケイチ。
いや、なんでもないよ。前にもミオンにおはぎをもらったことがあったような気がしたんだけど、これが初めてだよな。
そうなの？みーちゃん。
いや、これが初めてだと思うな。何かの勘違いじゃない？
私の記憶でもミオンさんが学校におはぎを持ってきたのは今年はこれが初めてのはずでしたよ。
Rika noticed. I hate this face that Rika makes. This specific face. She looks like mind you, she's like 7 or 8 or like 10 in this you know, in this scene at this time. But when she makes this specific face, she looks like she's 40. Like some 40-year-old woman whom you just like, you know, you told her that you ran over her cat or something. This is a little more normal. Like here she looks a tiny bit more normal. But yeah, Rika is very cute in general. I like her a lot too. But she's remembering. Or she's noticing, I mean.
わかった。
She's noticing that we're remembering.
おじさんが持ってきたおはぎだもんだから、何か罠があると思って警戒してるんでしょう。そこは威張るとこじゃなくて、日頃のお姉の底を反省すべきとこだと思いますけど。
そうだよな。同じおはぎでもレナとかが作ったおはぎなら絶対そんな風には思わない。
Oh no, Keiichi, don't say
レナっ
that.
ておはぎ作るの
Oh
何気に上手な
no.
んだよな。小さいけど丁寧で。
レナ、おはぎなんて作ったことないよ。
What? What was I saying? Why did I say that Rena had made ohagi before? Why would I know that Rena makes her ohagi small but neatly? Huh? I had no idea where that memory was coming from. I could only assume it was an error in my brain. Mion was saying that this was her first time bringing ohagi to class. As I tilted my head in confusion, everyone started reaching inside the box. Rena took out one for me and put it on the lid. I stared at it closely. What was I so concerned about? Mion said that I was probably concerned that she did something to the ohagi. But it wasn't quite that. I really don't know how to explain it. I felt like I was forgetting something important. I'd forgotten something important. And all I had was the obligation to remember it. This song is so good. I'll let it play for a little bit, because I don't think we've heard it before. What a good piano piece. In front of me was nothing but a single ohagi that came from Mion's house. I was frustrated, but I really couldn't think of anything. There's no way I could remember it, because I didn't know anything.
ケイチ、さっきからおはぎをじっと見て、どうしましたのですか？
いや、デジャブだっけ、既視感だっけ。
Did deja vu exist as a word in Japan in 1983? Probably not.
ほら、たまにないか。
Don't you get it sometimes, Rika? Don't you sometimes feel deja vu? Have you ever felt deja vu in your life, Rika?
初めて見るものなのにさ、過去にすでに見ていたように感じるときって。
Is she gonna do the face?
ケイチは過去にもミオンにおはぎをもらったように感じるのですか？
Rika, I ran over your cat. Oh, Keiichi-kun.
でも気のせいだよな。ミオン自身そんなことは覚えがないって言ってるしさ。
ケイチ、ありもしない記憶なんてありませんです。もしケイチが覚えているのなら、それは本当にあったことなのですよ。
Rika told me something strange. I didn't usually take her random comments seriously. But ever since I saw her making those predictions in the toy store, I've been curious about her special powers. I felt like she was telling me something deep.
へへ、大予言のリカちゃまが言うと、なんだか不思議な感じがしてくるな。それってつまり、輪廻転生とかそういう話なんだろ？
I thought he was gonna mention, Tensei. At some point. But that's not really reincarnation. Tensei, actually, let's see, did he use the kanji for it? Wait, wrong one. So. Let me double check, because I don't remember the I don't remember the logo for the kanji, or sorry, the kanji for Tensei. Megami. Yes, actually it's right there. Tensei is right there in the middle. Here, I'll point it out. I don't think he pronounced Tensei, but it's right here. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Here we go. This is the kanji for Tensei, which is right here, like right above this. which means metempsychosis, which is a concept in Buddhist mythology. Let me quickly get a description of it. Metempsychosis. The supposed transmigration at death of the soul of a human being or animal into a new body of the same or a different species. So it is kind of like reincarnation, except this one specifically, I believe, one where you can become something else. I believe reincarnation in Buddhist mythology is used specifically being reborn as another human in another life, while metempsychosis is used specifically having the chance of being, say, I don't know, a bird, or a dog, or a whale, or a human. But I don't believe it includes inanimate objects. It's specifically a human or another being of some kind, at least for metempsychosis. Anyway, the only reason I know that is because that's what like Shin Megami Tensei is supposed to be. It's normally translated as True Goddess Reincarnation, but it's more like True Goddess Metempsychosis, if you really go into it. But anyway, back to... I've been stalling so much while reading this chapter, dude. We probably would have been done with it by now.
僕は宗教のことはよくわかりませんです。
KGM7, I don't know about religion.
ただ、僕が言いたいのは、圭一が知っていることなら、それはあったことなのです。だからそれを思い出してほしい。気のせいだと片付けないで記憶としてほしい。僕が何を言っているのかわかります？
I was a little surprised by how serious she sounded. I always thought that Rika was just an innocent girl who fooled around all the time, saying things like meep and nipa. But all of a sudden, she seemed like a totally different girl. Was I supposed to take it as a joke? The serious look on her face told me it wasn't the time for jokes, though.
リカちゃんがそう言うなら、じゃあ俺は別の世界とかでミオにおはぎをもらったことがあるんだろうな。
バカにしませんから、全部話してください。どこでどうして、なぜミーにおはぎをもらうのですか？
To kill me.
いつどこでどうしてなんて具体的に聞かれれば聞かれるほどやっぱり妄想だったんだなって思っちゃうよ。
It's okay, Keiichi.
寝ぼけてみた夢なのかもしれないな。
夢でもいいのです。もっと覚えてるはずなのです。話してください。
What was up with her? She seemed so curious about it. I didn't think this story was that interesting. Her asking so much started making me feel uncomfortable. Still, something told me that I needed to talk to Rika about everything I could. Maybe she could predict my future by reading my dreams. I should tell her everything. After all, she's the shrine maiden for Yashiro-sama.
俺は多分学校を休んだんだよ。風邪なんだと思う。
My memory was scattered all over my brain like powder. I could see myself standing in front of the door. Mion was there, and someone else was standing there too. I think it was Rena.
それでミオンのやつ、お見舞いのおはぎだって言って持ってくるんだよ。
Also, new music. Let that play for a little bit.
今日言ってるのと同じで、おばあちゃんが作ったって言ってた気がする。
それで？
うん。それでそのおはぎを食べるんだよ。二人を返した後に。それでさ、おはぎの中からここから先は間違いない。漫画の受け売りだよ。多分昔読んだ漫画のエピソードと記憶が混同してるんだ。そんなことがあるわけない。
ケイチ、話を続けるのです。おはぎを食べて、中から。
ああ、いや、俺が小学校の頃に読んだ怖い漫画にさ、ハンバーグの中に裁縫針が混ぜられているっていう話があったんだよ。シオンもさっき言ってたろ？小さい頃に怖がらされるとトラウマになって残るっていうやつだよ。
I didn't remember much about the comic. I think it was about a girl who had an incident, or an accident, and held a grudge against the person who caused the injury on her face. It was a really cheap plot now that I think about it. But since I was still a little kid, that comic really scared me. In one chapter, the girl cast a curse on the guy's food. He eats a burger with sewing needles inside of it, and he goes all, ah, or something like that. It still freaked me out. The image was so grotesque and shocking to me. That grew into a kind of trauma, and for a while I searched for sewing needles in my food every time I ate something. I couldn't eat burgers for a while for that reason. But my parents got concerned and my hunger overcame the trauma. Eventually, that experience disappeared into the flow of time.
今でもさ、ちょっとでも怪しいシチュエーションがあると、針が混じってるかもしれないなって考えちゃうんだよ。もちろん、ちょっと考えるだけだぜ。みんなの弁当をつっつくとき、いちいち中身を改めてたら失礼だもんな。針を混ぜるなんて危ないいたずらなんて絶対するわけがないって思うから、そんなくだらないトラウマなんか気にしないで食べてるんだよ。
でも、今でもちょっと怖いのですね。
未だに忘れられないってことは、今でも心の中にはちょっと残ってるのかもな。
では、そのミーのおはぎからは、出てきたのですね。裁縫針が。
ああ、出てきた。
Inside that ohagi, there was a needle just as I feared. Why was I telling her about something that was just my imagination? Mion and Rena came to see me when I took a day off from school while I was sick. That never happened, so obviously my brain was just making it up. But I spoke to Rika, because she said she wouldn't make fun of me.
ケイチは、目の前にあるこのおはぎにも、針が混じっているように感じて、怖いですか？だから、さっきから手をつけられない。
I realized that Mion and Rena were also looking at me. Can you imagine? Because, like, do you remember? Everyone's in class right now, it's lunch break. They're all sitting with their desks next to each other, right? And they all have their little bentos out, and they're all eating out of each other's bento. And then Mion's like, hey everyone, I brought snacks. She pulls one out for Keiichi. Or, well, Erena pulls one out for Keiichi, puts it on top of the box, and they're all waiting for him to take a bite. Everyone's already ate theirs, he just hasn't eaten his. And when they ask him why he's not eating it yet, he feels the deja vu and is now explaining to an 11-year-old girl, yeah, I had a dream that, like, Mion came to my house one day when I was sick with Rena. They brought me some ohagi, and when I ate one of them, there was a needle stuck inside of it. And then everyone just turns to look at Keiichi while he's telling Rika this story. They were wondering why I was staring at the ohagi without eating it.
あ、ケイちゃん、おはぎ嫌いだった？
Do you hate ohagi?
嫌いだったなら無理しなくても。
Mion was assuming that I didn't like ohagi. She felt bad for forcing me to eat something I didn't like. In turn, I felt guilty seeing the sad expression on her face.
お姉のおはぎなんで、中に何か妙なものが仕込まれてるって疑ってるんですよ。
I immediately denied Shion's remark. No one else would understand what I'm saying. Even I didn't
い
know.
や、はっきり断言できるぜ。ここにあるミオンのおはぎには針なんて絶対に入っていねえ。
Sewing needle?
そんなのなんでおじさんが入れるわけ？
当たり前だよな。ミオンは確かにおとなしくお見舞いを持ってくるようなやつじゃない。タバスコを入れるとかそういう冗談はやるかもしれないが、間違っても針なんて混ぜない。
Right, and that's like the the epiphany that he had at the end of the last chapter, when he remembered that scene, he's like, no, she didn't put, like, you know, a sewing needle, she put, like, hot sauce inside of one of them.
シャレになることとならないことのけじめははっきりつけてる。だからそんなことは絶対にありえない。
I grabbed the ohagi with my hand. As I brought it in front of my mouth, I felt the need to check it just in case. But I told myself clearly, hey, you wimp. When are you going to stop being scared of that stupid comic book? Mion brought these ohagi to treat everyone in the class. There's no way she put needles inside of these. I forced that stupid memory out of my brain and munched on the ohagi.
お、うめえじゃねえかよ。
うまくて当然。針なんか入ってなかったでしょ。
そりゃそうだよな。本当にすまん。自分でもくだらないトラウマにずっと縛られてたって呆れるぜ。
My heart stopped pounding and I felt relieved. The next moment, I got the urge to say something to Mion. It wasn't the right thing to say, but I felt like I just had to say it.
おい、ミオン。
何？
おはぎうまかったぜ。
大きなカバンを担いできた甲斐があったよ。
I didn't know why I wanted to tell her again that the ohagi was delicious, but I was glad I said that to her. Hold on. Oh, never mind. I thought I heard something from the game. It's like something outside. You guys can't hear it, but it was weird. Yeah, you can't hear it. Anyway, I was finally released from that odd feeling.
さあさあ。さとこもケイちゃんを見習ってかぼちゃをガブリといきましょう。よく煮込んでありますから柔らかいですよ。
シオンさんのお弁当は何を食べてもかぼちゃが出てくるんですもの。私がトラウマになりましたよ。しーちゃんはさとこちゃんのかぼちゃ嫌いを直すのに頑張ってるんだね。
シオンも熱心だよね。まったく将来の妹のつもりなのかね。
By the time I finished eating my ohagi, we had returned to our usual fun lunchtime.
ケイチ、もしもですよ。
うん。もしもなんだよ。
本当に食べ物から裁縫針が出てきたらどうしますか？
そんなことあるわけないね。リカちゃん、脅そうったって無駄だぜ。
ケイチ、それでも出てくることがもしもあったなら。
Rika looked at me with a serious face as I joked around. What's gotten into her lately?
しつこいぜ。そんなことは絶対ありえないし、信じない。
I had just overcome my stupid trauma after all that. That's why I made that firm statement.
わかりましたです。ケイチ、しつこくてごめんなさいなのです。もしも針が出てきたら、それはきっとケイチの勘違いなのですよ。
Yeah, you're definitely imagining it if you end up seeing that.
ミーが混ぜたなんて絶対に思わないであげてくださいなのです。
ミオンを疑うなってことなんだろ？ああ、当然だぜ。俺は絶対に仲間を疑わないぞ。
I raised my fist in the air. Rika finally looked happy. She smiled as if she was relieved by my words. Is this the actual end of the chapter or the halfway mark? It's probably the halfway mark, though. Yeah. Okay, we took way too long on that. The items donated for the auction were gathered at the Furude Shrine.
ほう、いろいろとあるな。
I think this is an actual new background too. I don't think we've seen this one. I don't remember those sliding doors before. But I remember this background. Because they reused this one like 4 times. But this other one is definitely new.
お中元のタオルセットとか使い古した家具あたりまでは想像してたが、何気に結構いろいろあるじゃねえかよ。
すごいね。テレビや冷蔵庫まである。それにこれまだ新品同然だね。
驚いたでしょう。
うん。
その座機器関係のお店から余り物とか店頭展示品とか売り物にはならないけどまだまだ新品同然のものをいろいろと供出してもらったわけよ。片遅れ品とかをあまり気にしないならちょっとは立派なもんでしょ。
うん。That's pretty
電
cool.
化製品に貼り付けてある日焼けした新製品というシールがなんだか哀愁を誘いますわね。
いやいや、さとこ、そういうのが逆にポイント高いんだぞ。
うん。
他人の使用済みの道具よりは多少すすけてても未使用の方が気持ちよく使えるってもんだ。
うん。
みー、最近の若者は潔癖なのです。私はあんまりそういうの気にしないから、安ければこういうのもいいかな。
レナさんはさっきから家具類に興味があるみたいですね。一人暮らしでも考えてるんですか？
うん。
あ、うんうん。お父さんとお家の模様替えをしようって話になってるの。でもちゃんとした家具屋さんで買おうとすると高いから、こういうリサイクル品を探してたの。模様替えって家具まで買えちゃうんですの？ずいぶん大掛かりですのね。うちのお父さんね、つい最近やっと就職したの。だから新生活のための心機一転ってことで大掛かりに行きたいの。
Okay. So in this timeline, her father never met that whore of a woman. And I guess they just talked it out. And he got a job to kind of move on from like the divorce and everything. Okay. Interesting.
レナのお父さんは就職したのですか？
Rika asked her. I was thinking the same thing. Did that mean that Rena's father was unemployed until recently?
うん。
Huh.
お母さんと別れてから丸々1年就職しようとしなかった。レナも怒ってたんだよ。ちゃんと働きなさいって。
Rena explained Rena explained that with her usual smile, so it took me a moment to realize how serious it was. If what she said was true, her parents were divorced and she wasn't living in a very good family environment. Rena talked about it like it was nothing.
お母さんとお父さんが別れたんですの？うん。茨城の町でね、離婚。それでお父さんとレナはひなみ沢に戻ってきたんだけどね。お父さん離婚のショックからずっと立ち直れなくて、ずっと寝たりぼーっとしたり遊んだりしてるだけだった。
離婚も失恋も相手を愛した分だけ傷も深まります。その落ち込みの深さは決して悪いものじゃないと私は思いますけど。
そんなロマンチックな話ならいいんだけど、それでお父さんいつの間にやら悪いお店に入り浸っていることが分かっちゃったの。ある日預金通帳を見てひどい金遣いにびっくり。
Right, he was going to the hostess club.
レナのお母さんはさ、結構有名なデザイナーさんだったらしくてさ、相当稼いでたらしいんだよね。そのおかげでだいぶたくさんの慰謝料をもらってたらしい。
Right.
そのせいでお父さんは働かなくても生活できちゃったんだよね。それが立ち直りを遅れさせちゃった原因の一つかもしれない。
それは一理あるな。お金に余裕がなかったら働かざるを得ない。そうすりゃ忙しくなって落ち込んでる暇なんかなくなるもんな。
朝起きて登校や出勤をして夕方に帰ってきて食事して寝るっていう当たり前の生活習慣は乱れると結構堕落するもんです。 私も学園から抜け出してきた後、しばらく無職な生活をしてたことありますから、よくわかります。
Right, that's when she was mourning Satoshi.
お家に引きこもって一人でうじうじしているのが一番いけませんです。そうだね、リカちゃんの言う通りだったんだよ。だからレナね、お父さんときっぱり話をしたの。家長としての責任とか親としての自立とか、そういう
レナって普段はチャラけてるけど、ここ一番ではきっちりしてるからな。親が相手でもきっちりってのはさすがだぜ。
さすが。
そんなことないよ。レナも最初はショックだったよ。だってお父さん、なんだか知らない女の人に貢いでるっぽかったんだもん。
On some whore.
娘としてはショックだよ。それでレナはどうしたのですか？一人で悩んでるうちは全然ダメ。悪いことばかり考えちゃって。だからみーちゃんに打ち明けて相談してみたの。
No fucking way. Everything that we brought up during the post-chapter discussion is like coming true. It's like, what could have Rena done in this spot? It's like, just fucking talk to, like, if she would have talked to Mion for like 5 minutes about this shit, she could have gotten it solved. And what does she do? She spoke to Mion for like 5 minutes. And they got this fucking shit solved. That's so funny.
私は話を聞いて相槌を打っただけだよ。
When you talked to Kasai and you told him, hey, tell this bitch to back the fuck off.
レナが自分で考えをきっちり整理して、父親とちゃんと話をするべきだって結論したんだよ。相談なんてとんでもない。
いや、そういうのは大事だろう。人に話すことで悩みってのは結構冷静に考えられるもんだしな。
そういうもんですかね。相談する程度で解決する悩みなら、その程度だったってことじゃないんですか？
Shion, shut the fuck up, please.
そんなことないよ、しーちゃん。私もみーちゃんと話をするまでは、相手の女の人を闇討ちしようとか物騒なことしか思いつかなかったもん。
Before I spoke to Mi-chan, I was ready to kill that whore.
でもよくよく考えてみれば、そんなの全然最善の解決策じゃない。
But then I thought about it for 5 minutes and realized, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that.
まず話し合うことから始めないとね。それでレナは話し合ってどうしたのですか？お父さんがグダグダしてるのはお金のせいだってことになってね。口座を別の銀行に移し替えて、通帳と印鑑はレナが預かることになった。
Man, he must really trust you if he let you do that.
だからお父さんは毎月私からお小遣いをもらってるんだよ。
Because, like, remember, he had like 50 million yen in the bank. And he just thought, you know what? I think it would be better if my daughter held on to this. Like, that's an insane amount of trust. Also, real quick. Okay, she does. So it looks like, is it? I think it's another shirt underneath. Or it might be an actual collar that Rena is wearing, the little blue line or the little blue stripe. Because if you look at her sleeves, you know, the ends are black, right? Meanwhile, oh wait, no, they're black here as well. But she's not wearing the blue like wristbands. Interesting. Okay, anyway.
なんだかレナさんのお家は親と子が逆転してしまってますわね。
Everyone else is laughing along with Satoko. I wasn't sure if I should laugh, but I saw Rena laughing too.
結局さ、むやみやたらな大金がレナのお父さんを堕落させてたわけさ。金銭感覚が戻れば変なお店にも行かなくなるし、ちゃんと働かなくちゃいけないって気にもなるからね。
でもあれはいいタイミングだった。お父さん、 知らない女の人のマンションの頭金を払おうとしている矢先だったの。危ないところだった。
Right.
レナが笑顔で話す割には、よくよく聞いてみると随分ヘビーな話だな。一歩間違えば家庭崩壊だったんだよな。
そうだね。もしあの時私がみーちゃんに相談しなくてうじうじと今日を迎えていたら、今頃きっとその女の人を殺そうなんて考えていたかもしれない。
Yeah, you I think she said Goro at one point, which I believe is like murder. Well, yes, it means like someone dies. Everyone laughed at hearing such a dangerous thing come out of Rena's mouth. Rena laughed too, but I saw something serious in her eyes. It was probably true that she once thought about murdering that lady. She seduced Rena's father so that she could get money out of him. Knowing how short-tempered I am, I might do the same if it happened to me. I think she made the right decision in talking to Mion instead of being irrational.
偉いよな。家族の問題なんて恥ずかしくてなかなか話せるもんじゃないぜ。
そうだよね。みーちゃんに打ち明けようと踏ん切りをつけるにはレナもちょっと時間が必要だった。決め手になったのは夢なの。夢ですか？
夢。
あの頃は布団の中でいつも一人悩んでた。だからきっと夢の中でまで私は悩んでたんだと思うの。
In my dream, I thought about what would happen to me if I didn't do anything. I don't know if what I saw was my imagination or a prediction of the future.
夢の中の未来ではお父さんはその知らない女の人ともっともっと仲良くなってて、とうとうお家にまで連れ込むようになってるの。
My dad and I don't smoke, but there was an ashtray in the living room. The futon in our guest room was now hers. In the bathroom, there was a toothbrush and shampoo I'd never choose to buy. It was an unusual sight.
それはとても嫌な、いえ、辛いシチュエーションですわね。
And Satoko definitely knows what that feels like. I hate seeing this face of hers. Not because I'm like disgusted or anything, it just makes me feel so bad for her. Like she looks so dejected. It's so sad. Satoko never told me, but I'd heard that she also lost her parents. I heard that she went through tough times when she was taken in by her aunt and uncle. Someone told me about that once. Satoko seemed to understand Rena's pain very well.
それはとても辛いシチュエーション。私は家に居場所がなくなってだんだんと追い詰められていくの。それでちょっとした些細なきっかけで私はその女を殺してしまう。
夢にしては嫌に生々しい展開ですね。それで？
そしたらもう私は人殺しなんだよね。誰にも殺しのことを知られたくないって怯えて怖がって誰も信用できなくなって。
Can you imagine she starts bringing up the conspiracy theories that she fell into? Do you think she's gonna mention, yeah, and then like I met with this like reporter chick or whatever, the nurse from the clinic, and she gave me like her notebooks, and when I was reading them, apparently like the people in this village are all part of some cult or something. Can you believe it? How crazy. And then she was murdered like right after the Watanagashi, which is really funny. And also like that kind of like really fucked me up, because then that made me think that, oh man, her theories are probably true. And maybe it really was true that in her books what she wrote actually was coming to life, such as, you know, that people were part of a cult, and that all of you here were controlled by a parasite that came from, you know, the swamp way back in the ancient, like, you know, whatever period, because aliens kind of came down from space and implanted the fucking worms inside your heads. Can you believe that? How silly. And then everyone turns to Rena and is like, what the fuck? And then she just says, oh, right, and then I also kind of held all of you hostage at school, and I poured gasoline on everyone, and I almost blew up the school, but then, Keiichi managed to stop me last second. Such a silly dream.
毎日毎日を死体を埋めた場所で過ごすの。その場を離れたら誰かに死体を見つけられちゃうような気がして、いつまでもいつまでも。
嫌な未来だな。
Right, that's not a dream, but that's a nightmare.
夢の中だけで済んでよかったと思うぜ。
あれは夢だったのかな。私はね、あれはきっとそのまま何もしないでいたらきっと迎えた未来なんじゃないかなって思うの。だから翌朝目が覚めた時、とても怖くて震えが止まらなかった。私とお父さんの家なのに知らない香水の匂いがするような気さえした。そしてその夢が現実になるのが来年なのか来月なのか、ひょっとしたら明日なのではないかとどんどん怖くなったの。そこまで追い詰められたらもうみーちゃんに打ち明けるのにためらいはなかったね。
レナがものすごい神妙な顔で内緒の相談があるなんて言ってきた時は、おじさんはてっきり変な検査薬で陽性でも出ちゃったんじゃないかと真面目に思ったよ。まあ実際今だから笑い話だけど、当時は本当に笑えなかったね。
みーちゃんは本当に頼りになったよ。落ち着いて私の話を聞いてくれて、現実的な解決の糸口を探ってくれた。
That's cute.
それでやっぱり親子でちゃんと話さないとダメだっていう当たり前の到達点にたどり着いたってわけ。それは夢ではなかったかもしれませんですよ。そうだね。ただの夢じゃなかったのかもしれないね。
もしその夢を見なかったら、レナはミオンに打ち明けなかった可能性もあるもんな。レナの人生を決めた重要な夢だぜ。
Yeah, I mean, then I could have ended up being a murderer, you know?
夢か。あんたも夢を見るんだ。へえ。
Shion had said something in a small voice. Only Mion picked up on what it was. I don't know what she said, but based on Mion's reaction, she must have said something serious. Let's see, did they change the art style? Or do they change anything for the... They did not. God, it's so eerie seeing them right next to each other. They're literally the same. Literally the same. Anyway. Can you imagine? Like, these two look so fucking disgusting. These two homunculi look so horrid. God. Anyway, I'm gonna stop bringing that up. Swap. Swap styles. Oh no. Oh no. Jeez. No. There we go. Original. Holy fuck. It wasn't swapping for some reason. By the way, Shion usually went to school in Okinomiya. However, she'd been coming to the school in Hinamizawa lately. I don't know why she chose to come this far. So yeah, so Shion did have a dream. She remembered all the shitty things she did in the past. She realized, you know what? I should have done what I promised Satoshi that I would do, and that was take care of Satoko. So she transferred over, and then the dream that she had when she was bleeding to fucking death at the end of chapter 5 came true. But she seemed to be having fun taking care of Satoko. I had no idea what brought Shion and Satoko together. Wait, weren't they on bad terms once? Huh? Wait, is that true? Were they always that close, or not?
だから思ったの。人と相談するのはとても大事。
We'll have fun in a normal way, we'll laugh together in a normal way, and we'll fall in love in a normal way. We won't doubt each other. We'll trust each other.
仲間はただの遊び友達じゃない。本当に大切なことを打ち明けられる重要な存在なんだって。そんな当たり前のことに気づいたの。
そうだな。だとしたらレナにとっては 親子の問題を解決しただけでなく、仲間の重要さにも気づけたわけなんだな。
うん。だから私も誰かが悩みを持ったら相談に乗りたいし、絶対に力になりたい。だから私が打ち明けるに足る仲間だと信じてほしい。とても大切なことをレナが言っていますです。
Tsuyuki, she like grabbing you by the collar. Are you paying attention, reader? Rika's right. We all nodded at her without joking around. A moment later, we heard someone locking the door. We were all surprised. That person didn't mean to lock the door. She must have locked it by accident, not knowing that it was already open. She turned the knob, thinking it was now unlocked. No art style for her. The lady knocked on the door. I could hear several other people outside the door. Mion replied in a loud voice and walked toward the door. I heard her greeting the ladies from the town council. More items. I immediately saw why Mion called us over. The people from the village committee had brought another donation. It was an old cupboard. We all helped carry it inside the room. As I walked through the door, I realized the Higurashi were starting to cry, taking over from the cicadas. Yeah, the Higurashi started to nakokoro ni a little bit ago.
いやせいぜい頑張りますので、あまり期待しないでくれると嬉しいです。
そんなこと言っちゃって。今日ここに来たのも売り物を吟味して売り文句を考えておきたいからなんですよ。当日は期待しましょう。
したら叩き売りはちゃんと来ないかんね。
The other ladies smiled and told me they were looking forward to it. That's cute. It hadn't been that long since I moved to this village, but even these people offered me a position of huge responsibility during the festival. So you could say that they've accepted me as a member of this village. I caused so much trouble where I lived before that I couldn't even go outside, but they're accepting me as a member of the village? I was so happy. I felt bad that I still hadn't learned all their names, but I was gonna do my best to entertain the villagers who were supporting me.
ミオンちゃんはどうする？まだ残るんかいね。
いや、もう私たちも帰ります。もういいよね、ケイちゃん。
まあ、雰囲気さえつかめりゃ、あとは出たとこ勝負だ。なるようになるだろう。
綿流しには興味ないんだけど、ケイちゃんの司会は見たいな。私も来ようかな。
シオンさんもぜひいらっしゃいませ。みんなで一緒に騒ぐのは楽しいですわよ。
私は反対。シオンは沖宮に住んでるんだから、沖宮の祭りにでも行っちゃえ。
レナはシーちゃんが来るの賛成。シーちゃんが来るとミーちゃんが面白くなる。では多数決により C の参加は決定なのですよ。
というわけです、お姉。当日は私のせいでお姉の地味っぷりが露呈しちゃうかもしれませんけど、まあ仲良くしてくださいね。
It's interesting because like Shion doesn't refer to Mion. Well, the sister on the right is Mion technically, but anyway, you know what I mean. The sister on the right is not referring to the sister on the left with an honorific. So she just calls her One instead of like One-san, One-chan, One... I don't think they say One-sama. No, they do. They do. One-sama is also another one. That's another honorific. There's one more word for sister that I don't remember off the top of my head, but it hasn't been used in like 200 years, so it doesn't matter. But you can hear like you can kind of tell like a bit about their relationship just by that. I don't remember if I ever pointed it out, but anyway. Whatever Mion says, I know that they're actually close. The more Mion tried to refuse her, the more it was obvious how close they really were.
じゃあ出よう。忘れ物とかない？明かり消すよ。
We made sure that we didn't leave anything but inside the room and anything inside and left the room. I looked around the shrine grounds while Mion locked the door. This big place will be filled with people on the day of the Watanagashi. Have we seen this background before? I don't believe we have, but it might be the one that has the mailbox in the remake, or in the console art style. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. It's got the little mailbox, and it's got the lantern here at the front. But yeah, this is a background that gets used a lot, but this one, I believe, might just be new. I don't remember that, shrine in the background. I remember us looking into, like, the council building or something, but it looked different. But I don't remember that building in the background, being there. Anyway.
このだだっ広い境内がお祭り一色になるんだよな。なんだか全然想像がつかないぜ。すっげえ楽しみだ。
模擬店とかがいっぱい並んで、人もものすごいたくさん来るんだよ。きっと圭一くんもびっくりするかな年に一度なんてケチなことを言わず、季節の旅にやってくれてもいいんですのにね。
そういや、季節の旅に来る人はいたね。はい、そんな人いましたっけ？
あ、それは俺もわかるぞ。この間会ったカメラマン風の人だろ。名前はなんて言ったっけ？
富竹。
圭一は富竹を知っていますのですか？
そうそう、富竹さんだったな。いや、先日の帰り道で会ってさ、ミオンとレナに教えてもらっただけだよ。妙にたくましい体つきの割に腰の低い感じのおっさん。季節の旅にひなみ沢に来てる熱心な旅行写真家なんだろ？
自称でございますけどね。
What's that supposed to mean, Satoko?
あの人が来ると今年ももう綿流しだなって気がするよ。それで綿流しが終わると本格的に夏が始まるんだよね。
そうだね。でも今年は暑くなるのが早いからもうセミが鳴いてるけどね。異常気象とかテレビで言ってますわね。温暖化がどうしたこうしたとよく聞きますわ。
暑い夏、大いに結構じゃねえか。夏が涼しかったらなんだかつまらないぞ。
I don't know about that, Keiichi. Like fucking, like, summers in Japan, like, suck a lot, from what I know. Or from what I've heard, like, my friends that live there, that are Japanese, they're like, like, they were telling me how they hate the fucking summer season, or sometimes spring, because it's, like, typhoon season. It fucking starts getting really warm out, and depending on where you live in Japan, it will be very, very, very humid. Like, you literally step outside and it's like you're walking into like a bathroom when you've left the like water running so that the hot water comes out. It's like that as you walk out. It is like, you know, like 30 degrees out. You know, it's like in the high 90s, and it's just humid. Like, all the heat is trapped in this like cloud of moisture, and it is a nightmare and a half to just go from point A to point B. So I don't know if like having a hot summer is really such a great thing, Keiichi.
そうですね。季節通りの気候の方が気分がいいもんです。冷夏や暖冬はなんだか損した気になります。夏に負けないくらいこの夏の私たちも熱くいこう。綿流し祭、何人だ？綿流し祭六強爆闘だね。
今年の綿流しもみんなで一緒に楽しく過ごせますですよ。そうだね。楽しく過ごせるといいね。
お、レナは知らねえな。リカちゃんのは希望的憶測じゃねえんだぜ。本当の予言なんだぜ。だからリカちゃんが当日は楽しくなるって言ったら絶対にそうなる。
Yeah, Rena, she's an Esper.
だってこれは運命なんだからな。
She's got like ESPN or whatever.
そうだろリカちゃん。
はい、運命なのですよ。
Rika smiled with a nipa. Her smile assured me that the day of the Watanagashi was going to be a great one for
当
us.
日さすぐにオークションってわけじゃねえんだろ。
始まるのは奉納演舞の一つ前だ
Yeah,
か
I knew
ら
it.
夕方からならみんなで一緒に遊
It's
ぶ
gonna be
時
near
間
the
は
end.
十分にあるよ。
そうですわよね。初めてのお祭りなのに一緒に遊べないなんて気の毒ですもの。
ケイちゃんの叩き売りを楽しんだ後はリカちゃまの奉納演舞ですか。
Cute.
なかなかいいじゃないですか。
ということは僕は
Aww.
圭一の司会を最後まで見られず、途中で演舞の準備に行かなくてはならないのです。
へえ、リカちゃんも出番があるのか。演舞ってなんだ。やっぱり古出神社の巫女さんだから何か神事でもやるわけか。
綿流しの名の通り、お布団の綿を清める演舞と儀式があるの。リカちゃんがとっても頑張るから圭一くんもいっぱい応援してあげてね。それでねリカちゃんが巫女さん装束で重い細工をフラフラしながら振るうのがねとっても可愛いんだよ。
とってもかいい。
お持ち帰り。
You could hear the sound of like a blood splurt. Like, oh, sorry, blood spurting out. She doesn't do it in this version, or sorry, like I thought we might see like blood trailing, but you could definitely hear it. I've never seen a real shrine maiden before. I'm sure Rika will look really adorable. I was looking more and more forward to the Watanagashi festival. Which phrase? The Omochikairi one? Rena, Mion, Shion, Satoko, Rika, and I. The 6 of us will definitely have a great time there. How many more days did we have? I've never been this excited about a festival in my life. Oh. That was a new background too, I think. And I think that's the end of the chapter. Nope. Satoko's snoring sounded so subtle while I stood by the window. Huh?
さとこ、
There's a third part? Okay. I could tell that she was sound asleep.
いびきが可愛いのですよ。
Oh, I forgot about this thing. Hanyu laughs and tries to poke Satoko's nose. But she can't, because she's a ghost or whatever. I looked up at the sky. Nothing was different about the moon, but the moonlight seemed warmer than usual to me.
リカは機嫌がいいようなのです。うん、確かにそうかもしれない。
I realized that only after Hanyu pointed it out. I really was in a very good mood. Otherwise, I wouldn't be enjoying the view of the sky on a humid night like this. I felt like bringing a toast to the moon. As I rooted around the back of the closet, Hanyu spoke to me, sounding noticeably upset.
リカ、お酒はダメなのですよ。いいじゃない。今夜くらい。
Hanyu doesn't like alcohol. If I drink, Hanyu will also taste it, so she always complains when I try to drink. That's why I usually only drink when Hanyu is far away from me. Of course, she'll know right away when I do, but it's too late by then.
ダメです。リカにはワインは早いのです。
She's gonna get like kid beer.
リカは私よ。リカが飲みたいものはリカ
Oh
が決める。
no. She hit Hanyu with the my body, my choice.
ダメです。僕はワインが嫌いなのです。ダメです。ダメ。今日は喧嘩はなしだってば。わかったわ。じゃああんたにも飲みやすいように。それならいいでしょ。ワインのあの匂いが嫌いなのです。
Yeah, me either. Like, alcohol to me, like, smells horridly, and it tastes even worse. Like, I can hold my liquor, but I'd rather not. Because it's just a disgusting experience the entire time. Anyway.
だからダメダメ。
Hanyu jumped around and complained. She was making a lot of noise right where Satoko was
や
sleeping.
めなさい。さとこが起きちゃうでしょ。残念でしたものです。僕は理科以外には見えないし聞こえませんから。いくらトタンバタンしても理科にしか聞こえないのです。
If she would have been like, oh shit, you're right, I'm gonna wake her up. Without realizing that, yeah, that she's like a ghost.
ダメ。
That would have been really funny.
はは。あんたはたまに身の程をわきまえないわね。
I accidentally skipped ahead. I went to the refrigerator and took out a pack of orange juice and the spicy kimchi I usually use for her punishment.
はい問題。私がおつまみに激辛キムチをいっぱい食べてオレンジジュースで割った甘いワインを飲んで一緒に月を楽しむのとどっちがいい？
If this is your first time seeing Rika, I would honestly recommend maybe like not watching the stream if I'm honest. If this interests you, like I do have like my VODs up on YouTube for like all the past chapters. This is chapter 7 out of like 10 of them. And like the way the plot develops, like I've been kind of spoiling a good chunk of it, and this also spoils a bunch of it. But like it's still a very, very, very good story. I don't know how much the anime covers because I haven't seen it, but I mean, for all I know, you're probably caught up. Anyway. Hanyu clenched her lips while jumping up and down, ready to burst into tears. Oh, I see. She should be disciplined for being that noisy, but she never has been since I'm the only one who can hear her. Besides, she's like air, so I can't even give her a spanking. Hanyu loves sweets, but she really hates spicy food.
いいか？飛び跳ねるのはおやめなさいませ。
Satoko woke up suddenly and I had to hide my glass in a hurry. Satoko doesn't know about my drinking habit. Satoko doesn't know I'm an alcoholic.
今何時だと思ってるんですの？
That's so fucking funny, man. She fell asleep again after speaking.
ほら、あんたのドタンバタンがうるさいって注意されたわよ。この安眠妨害。
Wait a minute. So if Satoko could hear her jumping around making noise, does that mean that it was Hanyu who was inside of the what's it fucking called? The tool shed when Keiichi and Shion were there the first time? Like, Rika was doing the festival, right? She was doing the ritual. Hanyu probably saw them go in, and she started jumping around, like, probably in a panic because they were exploring the, you know, the sacred storehouse. Is that what fucking happened? Just like I'm the only one who can see her, I'm usually the only one who can hear the noises she makes. However, that's not the case all the time. Hanyu does exist in this world. Sometimes people can actually hear and feel her existence. It doesn't happen too often, and most people think that they just heard some random noise. Based on my experience, people who are in a critical condition like Satoko tend to hear her more often. When I say critical condition, I mean those who've reached the level 4 stage as Iria-sensei would describe it. Or the L4 stage. At that stage, there's nothing that can be done anymore. She's got like, what, fucking cancer? We still don't know what Satoko has. I still think it's like turbo AIDS, but I mean, we don't know. They will feel the existence and hear the noise of someone that they can't see. That would really mess with their mind. Hanyu stopped jumping around and up and down and gave up as I started pouring alcohol into my glass. I wasn't drinking because I wanted to be mean to Hanyu. In fact, I always wished she would enjoy it too. I poured only a little bit of wine inside of the glass and diluted it with plenty of orange juice. In fact, this cocktail is pretty much just juice. I also put some crushed ice inside the glass. With that, it looked like a real cocktail they served at a bar.
羽生、これくらいの薄さなら平気でしょ。
I licked the edge of the glass to see how she'd react.
このくらいなら平気なのです。そう。じゃあ今夜はこの濃さにするわ。もう怖がらないで。辛いのはしまうわ。
Hanyu has been scared of that kimchi punishment for a while. As I put it back inside the refrigerator, she seemed relieved. Oh. I took the glass and headed back to the window. Well, let's look at the CG for a bit. Interesting scene. There was no breeze, but it seemed a little bit cooler.
ねえ、羽生。あなたも今回は何かが違うって感じてる？圭一やレナの話ですか？それから多分シオンもね、みんな過去の世界をごくわずかだけど記憶してる。そしてそれを生かして致命的な失敗を避けている。ここにはそう珍しいことではないと思いますです。
This was the scene you were talking about. I see.
でも圭一やレナ、シオンなどみんながみんな同時にそうなることは僕もとても珍しいことだと思いますのです。
Well, it's not that it would be strange. I mean, remember, Shion probably remembered all her, like, all the stuff she did, back in, well, I mean, she probably remembered all of this while, she was mourning Satoshi in 1982. Keiichi remembered the Mochi scenario, because, you know, that was probably a pretty traumatic event. And then Rena remembered stuff, like, a while back, like a few days ago, in-game, regarding what happened with her father. So, it could be that now they're talking about it, but it's probably happened, you know, before to all the characters already. At least to some extent. But anyway.
私はよく自分の運命をすごろくに例えるんだけど、これは3つ振ったサイコロがみんな6だったような、そういう、僕たちの望む未来に最も近い位置からのスタートという意味では、理科のその例えは正しいと思いますのです。でもこれは理科が期待するような意味の奇跡ではありませんですよ。
I knew what she was trying to say. She was telling me not to expect too much. The die is designed to have 6 sides. It's not a miracle if I roll it and get a 6. A true miracle is when I roll it once but get a 10, just like what happened with Keiichi in my previous life. In other words, a miracle is something that would normally never happen. Keiichi gave the doll to Mion, Rena spoke with her father, Shion started taking care of Satoko after remembering her promise to Satoshi. That was all because they had those intentions somewhere in their hearts. It was only a side of their die that was engraved there already. But still, even if you couldn't call 3 dice rolling this well a miracle, it did mean a good fortune.
理科が頑張ろうという強い意志を見せたので、天の神様が祝福しているのに違いないのです。
Oh?
あんたも神様じゃなかったの？リカは僕をいじめるときだけ神様扱いしますです。冗談よ。お願いだからいじけないで。そんなわけだから。今夜はとても機嫌がいいのよ。
That's cute. I lifted up a glass of orange wine and gave a toast to the moon. It tasted like nothing but sweet orange juice. It was funny to see Hanyu make a happy face as I took a sip.
今度こそ昭和58年の死の運命から逃れられるのでしょうか。逃れることがゴールのすごろくなのだとしたら、これほど幸先のいいスタートは
もう二度とないかもしれない。
No matter how hard I try to prevent things from happening, there were some things I could never control. It's such a huge letdown when that happens. Even after trying so hard, something renders my efforts infertile. I'd probably been wasting my time for so long because I was trying to escape from that pain. For the first time in my life then, I'd been blessed with a favorable situation. Everything seems perfect in this world. There's no reason for me to be depressed. It's like the weather is perfect and the wind is blowing in just the right way. If I failed to put my ship out to sea, there was nothing to pin the blame on. I understood what Hanyu was trying to say with a concerned look on her face. I mean, it makes sense. Like, everything seems to be going smoothly, but we still have, you know, like, Factor X has been kind of quote-unquote sorted out, at least for some of the cast. We still have Factor Y and Factor Z. The deaths of Tomitake and Takano, and then who is behind Rika's death. But anyway, if I didn't escape my death under this fortunate situation, I'd have to accept that my fate wasn't something that could be changed. This is an ideal world where all of my friends overcame their problems. I was always in a depressing world, but this time all the pieces of the puzzle matched. If I couldn't change my fate in this world, then it was proof that I couldn't change it in any world. That was the ending that I've been afraid of for a long time. The loss of hope, and the death of my soul. Of the pair of us, I was probably the only one who would die. Hanyu will most likely remain there even if my spirit disappears. She must be afraid of being alone after I lose myself. That's why she's telling me not to expect too much. I bit down on an ice chip inside my mouth. It was pleasantly cold.
羽生、何度も繰り返した話で申し訳ないんだけど、また付き合ってほしいの。
いいのですよ。どうしてリカが必ず昭和58年に殺されるかですね。
うん。強い意志は強い運命を生み出す。ということは、私が昭和58年に必ず殺されるのは、
おそらくそうだと思いますです。
フルでリカを殺して、誰が
強い意志があるのですから、おそらくは明白な動機があるものと思いますです。
These are all questions you need to be asking yourself, and again, like, who wants Rika dead? And I still don't fucking know who. Like, is it Oishi? It's not Rika. Obviously, Rika wants to live, so, you know, the thought of it being Rika is out the window.
自分で言うのも嫌だけど、フルでリカは村人みんなに好かれていると思う。一般的な村人に殺害動機があるとは思えない。
少なくともこの村に住まう人間である以上、リカに好意を抱かない人間はいないはずなのです。
Right, who would benefit and why?
あんたのおかげでね。今のは感謝の言葉よ。まあいいわ。長いこと疑ってきた園崎本家も違った。となると、私を殺したい人間や勢力が思いつかない。
むしろリカにとっては世界中のどこよりもこの村にいるのが安全なはずなのです。
そうね。世界中のどこよりもここが私を殺そうとする人間がいるどころか、私を守ろうという人間がいるはずなのに。
It's ironic. For a long time I've been refusing help from all those people who were trying to keep me safe.
リカ、やはり入江たちを頼るのはどうですか？
People in this village love and cherish me. But no matter what, they never saved me when I tried to escape the fate of my death. I spoke to several villagers in the past, but they never believed me, and none of them saved me in the end. They probably didn't believe me because I had no idea who was trying to kill me or what their motive was. If I could explain that, people might be more accepting of my story. But there's nothing I can do about that. No one would believe a little girl saying that she's going to be killed without rhyme or reason. All they think of me as is the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama and the leader of the food of the family. They do cherish me, but they won't protect me with their lives. On the other hand, Edie and his people are totally different. They realize how special I am, and they would try to make sure that nothing happens to me. If I confessed to them that my life was in danger, I'm sure they would do their best to prevent it. They have all the means to protect me from a violent end. However, none of it really worked in the past. It's not that they're unreliable, it's because Takano, the one responsible for protecting me, also gets killed on the same day every time. In other words, asking her for help is completely useless. She's very reliable, but she also isn't. It's ironic that I'm the only one who knows the reason why they can never save me.
それが狙いなのかしら。富武と高野を殺し、私を守る者を排除して、それから殺す。
確かに高野たちの死は理科の死と密接に関係する先触れなのです。
同じ運命なら、いや、同じ犯人が同じ目的でやっている犯行なら、あの二人の死をなんとか覆すことで、私の
理科は多分覚えていませんですが、ずいぶん前にもそう言って実行したことがありましたです。
Right. The deaths of Takano and Tomitake mean the loss of my protection. Because the two of them die, the suspect is able to kill me. That's why I try to prevent their death somehow. But they never believed me. I tried so hard to persuade them, but they didn't listen. I eventually gave up and just thought of their deaths as fated to happen. It's the same hopeless feeling I used to have towards my parents when I was able to go further back in time. When I found out that death was inevitable, I lost interest in them. Oh man. After all the time had passed, I forgot how hard I used to try to prevent my parents' deaths.
それに理科は入江たちのことは嫌ってると思いましたです。
まあね、連中は明らかに私たちをモルモットだと思ってるし。
I support them so they can help Sadako. But it disgusts me to think that they're only using me as a test subject. I've been resenting Iria for that reason. Maybe that's why he kills himself. Still, I should try to get closer to him. After all, he's the only person who understands how important I am. He's the main person I should be talking to, and he has the most potential for protecting me. I can't avoid seeking help from him just because I don't like him. I've asked him for help several times before, but Tomitake and Takano get murdered even so, and it ruins everything. After their deaths, Iria panics and becomes useless. That's why I gave up on seeking help from him. After their deaths, he becomes useless. So he kills himself because he was, like, unable to protect them? Or maybe because he didn't believe Rika? And then all this shit happens? Huh. Anyway. But in this world, I've been blessed with a positive situation. I will never have as lucky a start as this again. This is the best chance I'll ever get, so I should give it my best shot. Yeah. It'll be like... She'll be like, great, this worked. I could have saved my parents, maybe. I really don't like him at all. But he's not a bad person. I should respect him more. He's serious about helping Satoko, and he's not as much as a mad scientist as I'm inclined to think. Takano's a strange person too, but she's also someone who can give me support. But she thinks I'm only her guinea pig. That's why I don't really want her to help. Tomitake is more reliable than Takano, but the biggest problem is that he only visits this village a few times a year. On top of that, he always dies before I get killed, so he can never help me. However, they really are the people I should be talking to. If I can change the fate of their deaths, they should be able to save me from my own. It's possible that the only reason I lived until 1983 was because of their effort.
高野たちに接触して彼らを救えるようまた努力してみようと思うの。あ、大丈夫よ。どうせ殺されると思ってるから変に期待してない。だから期待を裏切られても全然平気よ。
リカがひどいことを言ってますのです。
I chuckled at her comment.
もし死の運命から逃れられれば私の運命に対して
大きな影響を与えてくれるのは間違いない。そして今回はそれでも2人が殺されるのを前提に話をしてみようと思うの。つまり2人が殺された後、私にも及ぶだろう危害への警護についてちゃんとそういう指示を出してくれれば、高野たちの死後も私の身辺は強固に警備されているかもしれない。
The protection they provide is probably the highest standard of security I could hope for. Yet I lose the moment Tomitake and Takano die. So I never have their protection after Watanagashi, and therefore I get killed too. In other words, that's it. Whoever possesses a strong will to kill me actually just wants me dead. Yet so long as those two are alive, there's tight security all around Hinamizawa. That prevents the killer from getting to me. Right, because the outsiders are here. There's... oh my god. Anyway. And also, hey RJ, thanks for stopping by over on the Twitch side. So, to kill me, they must first kill Tomitake and Takano, the heart of that security. Then my protection falls away, leaving me exposed.
リズムで考えれば考えるほど、二人の運命と私の運命はつながっているのね。そうやって考えると、あの二人を見殺しにした時点で、私の運命は逃れられないものに決まってしまうのかもしれない。なら、リカのすべきことはもう明らかなのです。そうね。自分の命より先にあの二人の命を救う方が先決ってことね。
It's kind of ironic. I gave up on them because I was more determined to save my own life, but I finally came to the conclusion that I have to help them first before helping myself. But there's something I still don't understand. Someone with convictions this strong is trying to kill me for some equally strong motive. Yet no matter how often I debated, I can't think of anyone who'd benefit from my death. Not only that, but there should only be people who'd want to protect me, especially since they would do anything to protect me at the present moment. They even eliminated my mother. To be perfectly honest, I don't care about her anymore. Never got along with her, and she's the one who took my father's death the wrong way, making a huge deal out of it like she did. Or like she did. She got what she deserved. I'm a valuable guinea pig for them. I can't be a bomb too. And I can be a bomb too. No one benefits from making me explode. There's only disaster awaiting them if that happens. Lots of people will be lost and nobody would gain anything from that. According to Takano, my death would be like the eruption of a volcano in the middle of the village. I'm not interested in what happens after my death, but they're really concerned about it. Excuse me? So then does that mean that the Great Hinamizawa disaster really is fucking tied to Rika? Is that what it means? I can't believe it. So it is true. Interesting. Okay. Crazy. They're watching me every day to ensure that I don't accidentally hit my head on the corner of a block of tofu and die. It's fair to say that they're here in order to prevent the eruption from happening. I'd be suspicious of them if they were going to benefit in some way from my death, but as everyone knows, that can't possibly be the case. My death would create nothing but a disaster. They're benefiting from my being alive right now.
損得の問題ではなく、何かの怨恨かもしれないとは随分思ったわよね。私個人じゃなくて、古出家に対する恨みみたいなものが伝統的に御三家とかに残ってたりして、私が爆弾だと知らないからこそ殺したと。
That's why I was suspicious of the three families, especially the Sonosuke family. However, after observing them in numerous worlds, I feel that's not the case. I felt that way in several lives, but it always had something to do with that incident with Keiichi and the doll. It's clear that there's nothing going on between the Sonosuke family and mine.
あとは狂信的な何者かなのです。
If it's not about profit or a grudge, it might be someone who's secretly a deranged cultist. We've already had a series of murders 4 years in a row under the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse. Timing-wise, it would be somewhat interesting if I, the reincarnation of Oyashiro-sama, were killed on the 5th year. I couldn't stand to be the murderer for such a whimsical reason, but such a motive actually seemed fitting. Huh. Ironically, I would have to suspect Takano if that's the case. She's well known for being an eccentric researcher of local histories. She's only interested in the village history because she already knows who I am. She's doing the research based on the notion that I'm important, so she should have no reason to kill me. She would desire to keep me close to her as a research sample. It's hard to believe that she would kill her favorite toy. True? She might be willing to kill someone who would try to harm her little toy, harm her little toy though. No, Tomitake? No? Okay.
いくら考えてもわからないし、どうでもいいことかもしれないわね。
I thought she was gonna speculate like everyone. Anyway.
誰かが私を必ず殺す。その事実から逃れられれば、他はとりあえずどうでもいいんだから。
No, I take that back. I want to escape my deadly fate, but I also want all of my friends to be happy. And I want the rest of my life to be happy too. I don't want to hide myself in the forest forever just to get away from my murderer. In fact, I've tried that once before, but I still met with the same ending. Living in the forest was a horrible experience. I think I was able to survive until July that time. That might be the longest I ever lived. I smiled bitterly and finished off the rest of the orange wine in the glass. What the fuck? I'd like to talk to Edie again. I don't like him, but his people are my only hope.
もういい時間ね。どこに戻らないと。明日が辛い。僕もそう思いますです。おやすみなさいなのですよ。
I lay down and closed my eyes, but I couldn't fall asleep right away. Suddenly, I remembered Rena's words out of nowhere. It was no good when I was thinking about it on my own. I wasn't thinking about it on my own. I was talking it out with Hanyu. Now I know. It's important to talk to other people. Friends have greater meaning than I thought. You can talk to them about anything. I finally realized that. After I asked Takano for help, should I also talk to Keiichi? I've told him before in my previous lives, but he never believed me then. But what if he does believe us this time? I wonder. Anyway, this is a pretty long chapter. I think it kind of went a little bit longer than normal because I did pause to ramble for a little bit. But let's read this tip and then get ready to call it here for today. So, the two of us, I assume it's Rika and Hanyu. Rika Furude always thought that there were 4 members in her family. She could clearly see all of us, her father, her mother, and me. She had no idea that I was invisible to anyone else but her. My appearance is a little different from human beings. I may otherwise look like a person, but I can't hide my horns, so it's obvious that I'm not a human. I'd hoped that because Rika has seen me since she was a baby, she wouldn't be bothered by my ugly horns at all. And that hope came true. Just as chicks believe whatever they see first is their parent, Rika accepted me as part of their family as a matter of course. Even though I have these horns, Rika and I have been close ever since the day she accepted me as her family member. I became closer to her than her parents. I couldn't even remember the last time I was able to communicate with someone. We spent all day together. But her family, especially her mother, denied my existence. Since her mother so strongly denied me, Rika and her mother became distant. Rika didn't learn certain things that many children learn from their mothers. That's why I taught her instead. It's kind of ironic how that made her mother resent Rika even more. Rika used to fight with her mother a lot about how she talked. I guess she picked up some bad habits from me, right? Like the nano desu wa and stuff. Which is normally, you know, I believe saying desu wa is no, like, hasn't been in vogue in Japan for like 200 years, kind of. It's like if you say, or if you finish your sentence, instead of with like des, you say like de gozaro, which is something that would be said like 5 or 6 eras ago. Like if you were to talk to people nowadays and use de gozaro to finish your sentence, they would technically understand you. but they would also be kind of confused as to why you're speaking like you come from like the year like 1600 or like the 1700s. Anyway, besides the fact that she didn't get along with her mother, Erika was a pretty normal girl. She was just like Satoko. She loved running around in the woods and doing mischievous things. However, in June 1983, Erika's life was taken. All we want is a happy life for Erika. My power only allows us to search for the path leading to that. It's awful to repeat the same tragedy over and over again, although it's devastating. We can still find happiness within this endless world. Erika Furuda's destiny is a tragic dead end, but I'm secretly enjoying the fact that I get to spend more time with her than what normal people can enjoy. It's not just Erika. They may not see or hear me, but being with Satoko, Mion, Rena, and Keiichi is also very fun. I can never be one of them, but I can still be by their side. That's cute. That was a pretty interesting, little, tip. But anyway, I think this is a good stopping point. Been going for about 2 hours now. So, let's go ahead and get ready to swap on over to the ending screen.